Hi guys, Squirrel here and welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Now we're just a few days out of release day so far and I hope you're very much enjoying the sim. However, one of the things that's probably slightly annoying you is the default liveries. If we look at the Airbus A320 for example, there's only one livery available. Now those lovely people down at Microsoft Flight Sim addons.org have put together a livery pack which contains, at the moment, 40 liveries for the Airbus. In this video, I'm going to show you through them and I'm also going to show you how to install the pack. So let's get started. Now, as it stands, the pack itself contains 40 liveries for the A320neo, and this has already grown from the 20 odd it was perhaps just yesterday. So by the time you watch this video, there may be even more. There's also included in the pack some liveries for the Cessna 208 Caravan. Now what you want to do is you want to download this pack first, so the link is in the video description, but you basically want to go to Microsoft Flight Sim addons.org and you want to download this livery pack. Just scroll down and hit the download button. If the pack has been updated, you'll probably see a button here saying this pack has been updated, in which case just click through and download the updated one. The installation procedure should still be the same. So once you've got the pack downloaded, it should look something like this. Again, there may be more folders here if the pack has been updated, but if you look at the README file, it basically says drag and drop these folders in your community folder. Each aircraft has its own folder in the directory. So the question then becomes, how do I find my community folder? Well, by default, your community folder is located something like this: App Data Local Packages, Microsoft Flight Simulator with a funny number at the end, Local Cache Packages Community. This rather convoluted installation folder is what you get if you install using the Windows Store. If you install from Steam, you may get a slightly different folder. Just to add to the slight difficulty of this, if when you were installing it, you chose a different location to install content, then it may not be in this location. For example, I did that, and my content is installed on my games drive under msfs.content and then community. It actually creates two folders under here, community and official. Official is where it downloads all of its official stuff, and community is where everything else goes, such as my Orbex scenery, and this is where we need to install it. So how do we find this community folder? Well, so far the best way I've discovered is to go to options and then go to general. Go down to the bottom tab for developers and turn on developer mode. Hit save. Go back, and at the top you should now have this very small menu right at the top of the screen. If you click on Tools and then Virtual File System, this will bring up this folder, and if you look in Watched Bases, you should have a list of folders here. And I'm willing to bet that your community folder is listed. If it's not, then it's probably under this folder here, under Packages. As we said earlier, it will be in there somewhere. So check in two places first. Try to find it in here, the default location. If you definitely gave it a fixed folder, like I did, then chances are it's going to be listed here. There's your community folder right there. This is the folder that you want. If not, you're going to have to bring up some kind of search tool and search around for the community folder. It'll be about 90 gigs somewhere on your hard drive, so you need to go and find it. Once you've got that, we can carry on with the installation. Once you've done this, you can, if you like, just go back and turn off the developer mode, since generally speaking, you don't need it, or you can have a play around with it because it has some rather interesting aspects to it. So hopefully you've managed to find your content folder without too much trouble, and you've gone into the community folder here. So what you need to do now is open up this RAR file that they gave you. 7-zip should open it. If not, just install WinRAR. And you need to click on both of these folders, or however many folders you've got in here, and simply drag it over to the community folder. That'll then unpack, like so. And what you'll be left with is the exact folders. You can get rid of that WinRAR file now, you don't need it anymore. And you'll be left with a set of liveries. If you actually look inside the liveries in here, you'll see you'll have a texture pack for each of the liveries they've done. So what you need to do now is restart Microsoft Flight Simulator, or preferably you would have quit it before you did this, but just give it a restart and let it pick those up. Having restarted your Microsoft Flight Simulator, if you now go to your A320neo and click on Liveries, you should be presented with a big list of liveries. Fantastic. Unfortunately, at the moment, there's no way to search these liveries, I've noticed, so it is a little bit tedious having to scroll through them rather than just find your favorite one. But if we quickly have a look through them, you can see we've got basically the big names like Delta and Spirit. We've got Lufthansa in here. We've got Air Canada. We've got Air Berlin. We've got EasyJet, which is a big one. KLM's in there. Pan Am, interesting throwback. Spirit, Iberia. We've also got, there's actually more than one of some of them as well. Like, for example, I think Lufthansa has one. If we take a look at the original file, you can see we've got a Lufthansa old, and we've also got a Lufthansa, and you'll notice the name of the author after them as well. So sometimes you'll get a bit of variation based on whoever did it. You've got Alaska, New Zealand, Lufthansa, again, another one there. And I think one of the newer ones that came in the last version of the Pack V4 is British Airways, which is quite a good one. Now, do bear in mind that these liveries are community driven. They're not, professional liveries. And the whole thing is freeware, so it's free to use. But you will notice, maybe some letters here and there might not be perfectly aligned. But it's better than default, and it certainly works very, very nicely. Our tail numbers are actually supported, so if you click on your favorite livery, say British Airways, and then you go into here and put in your tail number on the aircraft, that will actually be reflected when you spawn in. And there we have it, the tail numbers on the back, GSQRL. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now, these are community-driven liveries, so you will get some variation in quality depending on who the author was, but it's still a fantastic addition to the Microsoft Flight Simulator platform. And considering they're community-driven and just a few days out of release day, this is great. If you want to actually uninstall the liveries, all you need to do is quit Microsoft Flight Simulator and delete those folders in the community folder, and that will be it. As soon as you start the sim, they will no longer be there. Well, that's it for this video, guys. If you found it useful, please give me a thumbs up. Until the next one, take care and happy flying.